Hi, I'm Kat with a K. And have you guys ever wondered how math is actually involved in our community, especially politics? Well, memes and jokes aside, let's talk about voting. To be more specific, voting methods. Some of you may think it's as simple as choosing the option with the most votes. Well, it's not exactly as you think. The majority rule is only simple if you have two options to choose from. It's easy to choose a winner as long as they have more than 50% of the votes. But what if this isn't the case? What if there's three or more? This is where things start to get complex. Let's say this guy got the most votes with 40% of the community voting for him. The other 60% was distributed among the other candidates. He won by vote count, but there's still a majority of 60% that didn't vote for him. That just doesn't sound right or even fair for the majority of the community. So how do we solve this? Well, buckle up because I'm about to show you all the other common voting methods we could use and how it's done logically. To begin, we need to know what preference ballots are. It's putting your choices in order from your best pick to the one you're least likely going to pick. Let's have candidates Poo, Trump, and Duterte, right? Here, we see an example of preference ballots. The voter Sebastian's first choice is candidate Poo, and last choice is candidate Trump. Now that we have these ballots, what exactly are we gonna do with it? That's right, we burn it. Analyze it. And there are 6 ways to do that. We have the plurality, Condorcet, board account, sequential pairwise, hair system, and approval voting. Let's talk about the plurality method first. This table represents the number of voters that choose a specific order of candidates. Over here, we can see that 2 voters have this specific arrangement for their preferences. In the plurality method, you simply choose the one with the most first place votes. In our example, we can see that Pooh has 2 plus 1 votes, making it 3. Trump has 3 plus 1 votes, making it 4. And Duterte has 5 votes, which gives him the win. Easy, right? But just like the other problem, most people think Duterte shouldn't have won. Which leads us to the other methods in voting. Next, we have the Condorcet method. In the Condorcet method, we choose the winner if he, she, or it beats all the other candidates one-on-one based on the preference ballots. The winner in this election is Trump because Trump against Pooh wins 2 plus 3 plus 5 times, meaning he won 10 times against Pooh as compared to Pooh only being voted over Trump a total of 3 times. Trump also wins against Duterte 7 times, whereas Duterte was above Trump by only 6 times. I hope you guys get the point of the Condorcet method, but the problem with this method is that sometimes you just can't produce a Condorcet winner. If we have a situation where Pooh loses to Duterte, Duterte loses to Trump, and Trump loses to Pooh, or something similar to this, then we have no Condorcet winner. The next method in our list is the board account method. Each candidate will be given a specific number of points depending on the place people rank them in. All first choices will be multiplied by 3, second choices by 2, and third choices by 1. By finding the sum of each candidate's points, the one with the most points wins. For example, in this column, 2 times 3 is equals to 6 in the first choice row, 2 times 2 is equals to 4 in the second choice row, and 2 times 1 is 2 in the third choice row. The winner in this method is Trump with a total of 27 points. Number 4 is the sequential pairwise method. This method actually uses the one-on-one concept of the Condorcet method, but this time with an agenda. By an agenda, we mean the order of how they're going to face off. For example, our agenda is Duterte, Pooh, Trump. The competition would look a little something like this. Whoever wins against the first one-on-one battle will then go against a one-on-one battle with Trump. The winner of this final battle will then be our overall winner of the election. Say Poo wins against Duterte with him getting 7 votes and Duterte only getting 5. He faces against Trump and wins with 10 votes against Trump with only 2. Thus, Poo is now our election overall winner. Second to the last on our list is the hair system. In this method, we eliminate every other candidate with the least amount of first place votes. We can see here that Trump has the least amount of votes, so he gets eliminated. Time for round 2, and all the voters will have to vote once again. This time, Duterte has the lesser amount of votes, so he's out of the election. This leaves us with Poo, our winner. The number of rounds in this method will depend on the number of candidates. Last but not least, we have the approval voting method. In this method, you really just say if you approve of the candidate or not. There is no limit if you want to approve of all, none, 1, or 2 candidates. The candidate with the most approvals win. Duterte wins the award in this election with a total of 23 approvals against Trump with 21 approvals and Poo with only 19. Now that we know all the voting methods, how do we say if it's fair or not? Well, there's actually a thing called a fairness criteria, so let's have a quick rundown on the important ones. Majority criterion means if a candidate has more than half of the population's first place vote, then the candidate should win. Condorcet criterion, just like the Condorcet method, means that if the candidate beats all the other candidates head to head, then they deserve the win. Independence of irrelevant alternatives criterion says that if a re-election is to be held with the same ballots and non-winning candidates are removed, then the previous winner should still win. Pareto criterion says that if everyone prefers a specific candidate over another, the losing candidate should have no chances in winning. Monotonicity criterion is when people change their votes into voting for the previously winning candidate in a re-election. Then that candidate cannot lose. Just so you guys know, there is no single voting method that will be able to satisfy all that criteria. And according to Arrow's impossibility theorem, there's just no reasonable voting method if you have more than 2 candidates and more than 1 voter. So, I guess the only thing we can do as an individual for the greater good of the community is to vote wisely. And, well, that's all for today. But I sure do hope that this video shows you that through voting, math is essential in our modern world.
Thank you. Okay, bye-bye now. Bye-bye. Bye. Okay. Are they all gone? Is everybody gone?